everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Golf Gear Report. I'm Lauren Thompson, he's Doug Smith, and you're coming right along with us to the Game Changer Summit here at La Costa. It is a brand new venue here in sunny San Diego, California. We've got fresh new information and, best of all, new gear so you can play better golf in 2025.
And Lauren, we're not just going to stay on the range. We're going to spend some time at TPI to test the new Titleist offerings. We're going to the Kingdom to try out all the new TaylorMade offerings. And we're going to go to the Eli Callaway Performance Center to see what they got cooking.
We've got our PGA Tour Superstore associates getting all the best information, trying things out for you on the range and beyond so that they can pass that information on to you. Are you ready to hit the ground running or what?
I am about to completely nerd out with equipment. I'm just going to tell you right now, don't judge me, but we're going to have a day, so let's go start.
The 2025 Golf Gear Report, presented by PGA Tour Superstore.
Here at the Kingdom in Carlsbad, California with Matt Bovey, the Director of Product Creation for TaylorMade. We're talking QI35. You know what, I'm just gonna give you the floor. What is going on this year with TaylorMade?
I mean, there's so much to look at here with the new QI35. Again, of course, it's all about fit, form, and function with the QI35 family. And you look at this design language from the outside, it looks fast even when it's sitting steel. This new chromium carbon, a beautiful, beautiful look. But the performance side of QI35 is something to really get excited about. So we're holding 4 different driver models here. Let's run through each one quickly, starting with the QI35 LS.
LS.
That's gonna be your most adjustable model with the lowest spin. So you have, again, 3 different weight settings here that gives you more forgiveness, or it allows you to move that weight forward and really get that CG lower in the club head to give you higher launch, lower spin. And again, that's gonna be a nice change and upgrade from QI10.
I call this the Morikawa.
That is, Colin is in fact playing that driver. And then the other driver you're holding there is going to be the QI35. This is going to be probably fit the widest array of players. This is what Scotty and Rory are looking at right now. And again, you talk about the CG projection inside this. The idea of QI35, the whole family, is to give players more forgiveness while maintaining those ideal launch conditions. And that's what's so special about this. We've been able to save mass inside the club head, get that CG down. So now this QI35 is a 9K forgiveness driver.
Wow.
So that's a big, big step up over QI10, and you saw the success that QI10 had in 2024. So you're getting better launch conditions and more forgiveness out of QI35, and then we move over to the QI35 Max model. Now this also comes in a lightweight version, so if you're someone that's looking for a little more club head speed, go check out the light version, but this is gonna be your 10K inertia driver, so extremely forgiving. But we've improved those launch conditions, again, by controlling that CG projection, getting it lower on the face. This is gonna be less spinny than last year, which means you're gonna get more distance out of this. So in general, you're gonna get more distance, up to 5 yards more distance here. You're gonna get tighter dispersion, means more accuracy out of the QI35 line. Again, so much to be excited about for 2025.
Go try out the TaylorMade QI35 family of drivers right now.
The Game Changer Summit rolls on. We've made our way over to the Eli Callaway Performance Center, and I am pleased to be joined by the Director of Content for Team Callaway, Johnny Wonder himself. So Johnny, new news in the golf market. We've got a new line of clubs to get excited about.
Lots to talk about. It's always, launch season's always very fast-paced, and there's always like a million things to talk about, but we're gonna focus on the drivers for now, the big sticks. The driver you have in your hand would be the Elite. That's the core model. It's gonna fit the widest swath of golfers. You know, I'll go into the tech really quick. Thermoforged carbon crown. So the reason why they did that is it makes it a little bit more malleable, because the big story this year is the shape. They trimmed some fat out of the front of the driver to make it swing faster. Callaway's notorious for making really, really fast golf clubs. The only way to make them faster now is to make them swing faster. So they're trimming the fat to make the shape a little bit more aerodynamic. So it's a little bit more aerodynamic here and up here to make it swing faster. Then you have the 10X Smart Face. Computers had another 1.5 years to figure out what golfers need. So that's all packed into the face. And then you have, like, you know, your normal weight ports that you have back here for, you know, to hit it straight, draw, or a fade. But the cool thing about this driver, and we've noticed in tour testing, because I've done a lot of the tour testing with our team, this driver, depending on where you stick the weights, goes from like a really fun, forgiving, fast driver to an absolute monster if you move all the weight forward. So out on tour and at the, you know, in the fitting bays, I think this year, this is going to be this is a dog. Like, this is a serious driver. I'm really excited about this one.
Cheers to 2025.
Way to go, 2025.
And playing better golf.
Yeah.
Well, on the range at Omni La Costa with Ping, Travis Millman is with me to talk about the new offering from Ping, and it is the G440. Travis, this thing's kind of pretty.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the tech and what we've kind of gained coming out of G430.
Yeah, the big things with G440 is our constant desire to go a little bit lighter, a little bit longer, and ultimately go a little faster. So how we were able to do that in the G440 line was carbon fly wrap. We have it on all of our models in the driver space, so Max, SFT, and LST will all be there. Under the hood inside is what we call free hosel design.
That's where all the magic is.
It's all the magic. So we freed up a lot of that structure that holds the hosel sleeve in place, allowing the face to flex a little bit more on the inside, which ultimately creates more ball speed, higher CT, more flexing in the heel region.
Let's stay right there for a second. So what you're saying is all the internal workings where the shaft tip goes into the head, that's gone.
Yeah, we're trying to hold it in the same spot. So at the top of the sleeve, we hold it at the top of the sleeve, and at the screw, we hold it there. But everything in between, we try to get rid of.
Wow.
What we really tried to do was, that's an area on the club. It's pretty high on the club, right? So if we can remove mass from an area pretty high on the club, reallocate it low and back like we like to, and put it in our CG shifter here, so our heavy CG shifter design, that ultimately helps to boost MOI and lower and draw CG back.
Okay, so when we're talking about just main differences, are we seeing increased ball speeds? Are we seeing tighter dispersion with 440 over previous iterations?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, yeah. So obviously the name of the game in the driver space is speed. How do we get faster, right? So carbon fly wrap, free hosel design lowers CG, so we get more ball speed. We also made the face a little shallower and thinner, which does help to create more flexing. So everything is moving a lot more, and the CG's in a better spot. So we're actually getting a more efficient transfer of energy, so we're getting more ball speed off the face. Once again, it is a little longer, lighter, and faster, so it's hard to turn away distance, right?
Wow, new offering from Ping. Be sure to check out the new offerings here at PGA Tour Superstore. And I tell you what, you guys are probably the straightest company in golf, and I'm probably sure you're still the straightest company in golf with 440.
Thank you.
Pleased to be joined by Carrie and JC from Rapsodo, and I think a lot of our people at home are nodding their heads. They know this name, especially if they've been involved in baseball and softball, but you guys have been involved in the golf scene for a while as well. Tell us how you first emerged into our sport.
Absolutely. So in 2019, after dominating the baseball industry, we actually moved into golf with our MLM product. Our MLM1, which is our launch monitor product. In 2023, we then introduced the big brother to the MLM, which is the MLM2 Pro, launch monitor and golf simulator.
With the MLM2 Pro, you can have this on an iOS or Android device, set it up in your backyard, in your garage. We have over 30,000 golf courses, so you can play major venues or your course down the street, in addition to virtual ranges and target ranges to practice and work on your game.
So we got to talk about what you're holding in your hands right now. You mentioned that we could just pop this in our golf bag, take us with us. Can you walk us through what you have?
Yeah, so this is the MLM2 Pro unit, fits right in the golf bag. When you take the actual device out, it's going to clip into the tripod. You're going to set this down 6.5 feet to 8 feet behind the golfer. Once you got that on the ground, you plug it in with your iPad or Android device and get the data going.
This sounds way too easy. How fast is it to set this up? I mean, literally just that?
Just that. You turn it on, connect via Wi-Fi, and you're good to go.
JC, Carrie, this is really cool stuff. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
The Game Changer.
Thank you so much.
Well, quite the year already for Cobra with the announcements of new tour staff. We also have the announcement of new drivers coming out from Cobra. Jose Miraflor here with me right now. We are talking about, well, the DS Adapt. Ready for this year. What is going on with this driver?
Well, first we use DS for Dark Speed or Doug Smith, whichever one you want to use, right?
Thank you.
But we made this new Adapt drivers. There are 4 of them, right? You're holding 2 of them there. Those are the better player drivers, the LS, the X, the K, which is our first 10K, and the Draw. And I think the thing we want to talk about, the hot trend, is the 10K driver, right?
Yeah.
10K driver means that it's super forgiving, super stable. And inside of all of these heads is a brand new fitting system we're called Future Fit 33. 33 unique settings to dial in your driver game, allowing you to hit the driver as straight and as far as you ever could.
I feel like MOI, we've heard it with putters, now it's into the driver. What is going on internally with the head that's given it that ability to be so forgiving?
It's all about saving weight where you can and putting that discretionary weight to places that a golfer can use. In the case that you're using, those two drivers have more forward CG, better for lower spin, better for higher trajectory, and then for the drivers I'm holding, back CG or heel CG to either drive up forgiveness or to drive in slice correction. So really how engineers design the inside is what's going to make it fly out here very differently for each one of these golfers.
I tell you what, no better place than the PGA Tour Superstore to go out and try the new the Dark Speed Adapt from Cobra. All four, try them out today. These, I love how the carbon on top, the face, how it just rolls in. It's a beautiful driver.
You want to go hit some balls?
If you would have me, yes, sir.
Of course we will.
And I've got the honor to be with Stephanie Luttrell of Titleist to talk about the new offering, the GT, this generational technology. Let's get right into it. How has this GT family been received?
Well, it's been exceptionally received. It's, the most played driver on the PGA Tour and globally renowned as being exceptionally fast and long distance.
Let's go into some of the design because we went TSI, TSR, and then now GT. How did some of that previous generation tech kind of stay and what left?
So building off from what was the Titleist Speed project, we knew we had big shoes to fill. And so it really started with the foundation of how do we continue to push the limits of speed, distance, and consistency across the platform. And with GT in particular, it started with head shaping and aerodynamics. So really it started from that foundation, but then as we started to dive deeper into, well, how does that impact our center of gravity? How does it impact our ability to produce launch and spin that will ultimately lead to more distance? It really necessitated a new construction, and that's what makes GT generational. So we brought to market a new thermoformed crown technology that is a new generation of technology in composites that has never been done before. And it really has allowed us to place center of gravity exactly where we want it, be able to split the mass internally to keep inertia exceptionally high so that you get all of that consistency that you want on those off-center hits, but also really produce more distance through launch and spin characteristics as well.
Since you have the one in your hand, who's the one for?
Well, the one, I like to call it kind of our bookend that really promotes our highest launch in the category. And so for players that are launch and spin challenged, meaning that you need more launch, you need more spin to be able to drive and optimize your distance, the GT1 really builds upon that for players. I fall into that category. I'm a player that, dynamically lofts it quite a bit, and I don't generate a lot of spin. And so this one product really helps those players to seek out more distance and really be able to unlock it as well. So we've kind of got everybody covered. If you go to the 4 model, it's the ultra aggressive low spin version. The 3, the most globally played tour driver with center of gravity fitting capability, heel toe. And then that 2, I like to call it kind of that high launch, low spin, max MOI bomber. And then you build on the 1. And the 1 we offer it in 2 configurations. So it comes in an ultra lightweight configuration. So for players that are more moderate speed, you can really see great speed gains by building it in a lightweight configuration. But we also offer it in a standard weight configuration that's more traditional. So if you're a player that just needs launch and spin, GT1 is really the option for you within the GT lineup.
Well, I tell you what, all of the offerings right now from Titleist and this GT family have a certain sleekness that definitely grabs your eye in that bag view. Make sure you go to PGA Tour Superstore and check out the new offering from Titleist, the whole GT family. They're there. Their fitters are there. Go get fit. Do it now. Go ahead. Get up. Go. Well, the question I always have is, how are you going to make the #1 ball in golf better? Well, that's why I'm at TPI here in Oceanside, California with Steve Cohen to tell me how you did it in the new iteration of the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X.
So how it works for us is after we launch a product, and the most recent one prior to the 2025 was in 2023, our product management team seeks input from all aspects of our pyramid of influence. And that pyramid of influence consists of PGA and LPGA tour players, PGA and LPGA club professionals and teaching professionals, elite amateurs and dedicated golfers. They speak to all of them and they solicit input as to, in the next generation of this golf ball, what would you like to see? The feedback that we received was, number 1, more speed, because everybody wants more speed.
Chasing speed.
And number 2, more spin. But with the caveat is that they did not want more spin in the long game. The speed was perfect off the tee, and they did not want to sacrifice that in the new golf ball. So the spin would be limited to those approach shots, shots into and around the green, 7-iron wedges, and they wanted to be able to control that. And so that was the challenge the product team in the direction that they gave to R&D.
Yeah.
And R&D sets out on that long process. They literally come up with 100 samples, and they tweak, and they test, and they tweak, and they test, and that process goes on for months until they can finally find golf balls that achieve the goals that have been set out for them. So Pro V1 is going to be a lower mid-flight ball, more penetrating flight. It's going to have a little bit less spin than Pro V1X, and it's going to have a softer feel. The Pro V1X, on the other hand, is going to be a higher flight, higher spin, and a firmer feel. One thing we did change this year with the Pro V1X is that we modified the aerodynamics package, and in doing so, we changed the depth of the dimples, and that allowed us to bring the flight down a tick, which gives a more consistent flight on shot.
Something to keep you on your toes. Titleist Pro V1, Pro V1X. It is the #1 ball for a reason. And if you get a chance, make sure you decide between the two of them at your local PGA Tour Superstore. Steve, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you.
Your office isn't so bad.
It's a pretty good place to work for the day.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
On the range at the 2025 Game Changer Summit, excited to be joined by the president of the PGA Tour Superstore, Jill Spiegel. So, Jill, thanks for joining us today, and a beautiful day it is.
Oh, thanks, Lauren. We're so happy to be out here in sunny California. It's absolutely incredible.
So, Jill, let's talk about this particular gathering and why it's so important at this point in the calendar.
Yeah, well, you know, we just opened our 74th store, so we're growing like crazy. We have over 270 sales associates here, fitters, supervisors, and we're getting ready to go into club launch season. This is the kickoff of the year, so it's important that they get trained. I mean, they're the most important asset that we have. They're the closest person to the customer, and the more product knowledge that they can get is absolutely critical. And even more important than that is this is a big culture week for us. It's our associates' opportunity to get to know the senior leadership team, fellow associates from across the country. So not only is it all about product knowledge, it's all about just a company cultural infusion.
What would mark this as a success in your mind?
Well, this is our 11th year doing it. We started in Florida. It's our first year in California, which I think is going to be a huge win, as you can tell. For us, success is our associates going back with the most knowledge that they could possibly have. Because as I said, they're the most important person interacting with our customer to build relationships, not only with each other, but with our manufacturers. So for them to be able to get to know one another, build relationships, gain product knowledge, get to know our manufacturers. You know, our manufacturers put so much into this as well. We could not do this without them.
Sure.
And what's really cool about this event, because it's in Carlsbad, which is the hub of golf, our fitters are going to get to go to the Kingdom, TaylorMade's Kingdom. They're going to go to ECPC with Callaway. They're going to go to TPI with Titleist. So they're going to really see, I mean, this is the heartbeat of golf. So to be here on the home turf of so many of our manufacturers is really extraordinary.
Well, I know it's a busy week for you as well.
Is.
So, Jill, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it.
Here at La Costa at the PGA Tour Superstore Game Changer Summit, here with the CEO of Lab Golf, Sam Hahn. Sam, let's just get into it right now. Lab Golf, what does Lab even stand for?
LAB stands for lie angle balance. Lie angle balance is a physics equation. It's an equation that we use to build these putters and balance them in a way that the putter face is actually seeking square throughout the stroke. So you don't have to manipulate the putter.
See, I like the notion of seeking square. We all have, tall, open, shut, arc, etc. But this thing tries to seek square. I've seen the demonstrations with the revealer where you put in the device and you can see the putter kind of stay still. Talk about some of the tech and the research that went into even finding out.
So it's actually an incredible way that the whole thing came about. So the inventor is a guy named Bill Pressey. Bill, like a lot of us, really good ball striker, super crappy putter. So he was in his tour trailer one night, and he sort of picked up a putter and noticed that the second he picked it up, it flopped open.
Yeah.
So he actually built the first revealer out of a crutch and started hanging putters in it to kind of see how putters moved without, trying to manipulate it. And so it was the revealer that came first that led him to discovering lie angle balance. So he grabbed an old putter head, started drilling holes all around it until he found a spot that he could stick the shaft where the putter stayed square.
Wow. Now, when we look at the tech in here, now I've got two different iterations of the putter. This is new.
This is our newest one.
This is the one I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you've done with those putters to go into the Oz one.
The two biggest complaints that we get our ball speed. Because of the way we balance the putters, the CG is really far behind the face, and so that slows the ball speed down. So with Oz, we've been able to move the CG quite a bit closer to the front of the putter there, so the ball speed's up a little bit, and then additionally we've got this insert now. We've got a stainless insert that's an option. You don't have to use it, but that's also going to help get the ball speed up. With our bigger mallets, we add shaft lean, and then this kind of funny press grip here.
Yeah, I was noticing the press grip.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Definitely
But some people don't like it, and so with the Oz, we've got the option to have a straight grip. So the shaft is completely vertical. You can put your favorite grip on there without affecting the balance or the technology.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
We have figured out a way to make putting a little bit less painful. You know, with other stroke sports like throwing a dart, shooting a free throw, playing pool, you're not thinking about the instrument. You're not thinking about the thing you're using, you're thinking about a target. With putting, because they're so unruly, you kind of have to think about the putter. In our case, we're taking a little bit of that out of the equation. You get to get hyper-focused on your target, release a shaft to where you're trying to hit the ball, and you're going to get lucky a little bit more often.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to go roll some on this green while we're here.
Enjoy it,
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Check out Lab Putters at your local PGA Tour Superstore.
Well, the sun is setting on the 2025 Game Changers Summit. PGA Tour Superstore, they're going to have some excellent offerings for 2025. Doug, what stood out to you?
You know what, just being able to be here in Carlsbad to visit the OEMs, see all the tech. Golf is in such a great place right now, and the gear for this year, mwah, chef's kiss.
Oh, I loved all the gear. You had vendors galore going on the range. They were everywhere, teaching summits and more. But what I loved is the personal touch that PGA Tour Superstore has with all of their associates, making sure that they are educated, that they are in the know, so all of us can play better golf.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And just making sure that people are getting the best fit when they do go into PGA Tour Superstore. They're learning from the folks that design the clubs to make sure that they are money. So great week, and I don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave either, but all good things must come to an end. We have appreciated having you along with us. I'm Lauren Thompson. This is Doug Smith. Thanks for joining us today.